we're closer than I think a lot of people think.
Where they're integrating into our smart devices.
Vehicles becoming safer.
Zero crashes, zero emissions, and zero congestion.
The move to electric vehicles.
There's still vehicles that have to be built.
Even from what we're seeing right now, the car of the future, what we see when we look at a vehicle, that outside, that exterior of the vehicle, is much like the case on our phone. It holds an incredible amount of computing power under that shell. We've got machines on our floor right now that we're building to incorporate all of the sensors that go in parts of that vehicle exterior. So when you think of a car, even what we've got right now, not even thinking of what's coming 10 years down the road, but right now the vehicles that we're driving are basically computers surrounded by a beautiful exterior rolling on the roads. And those computers are sending data that, as we start to demand more and more from the auto manufacturers, they're going to meet more and more of our needs. Doing things where they're integrating, like they do right now, into our smart devices, our phones, providing all kinds of information on the health of our vehicle, to the locations that we're traveling in, and using that data to be very intelligent about, in some senses, monetizing it, right? Targeting advertising to us, but also engaging us as customers and keeping us close to their vehicles, because their vehicle platforms provide what we need.
Connected, autonomous, shared, and electrified. And those changes are coming, not all at the same speed, but they're coming because of concerns about the environment, because of concerns about the sustainability of resource use, because of traffic density concerns, affordability. It's getting harder and harder for young people to find jobs that would allow them to own a car, and so on. And all of these things are combining to drive the future car in those directions: connected, autonomous, shared, and electrified.
I think the timeline, we're closer than I think a lot of people think. As you can see through the UAW negotiations, Michigan has now got, I believe it's a Traverse and a pickup truck that they're going to attempt to do the electric vehicles there. I see that as the Equinox to continue the lifespan of the Equinox. I would hope that some type of version of electric would come into play for our Equinox. There's still vehicles that have to be built. There'll be different mechanics mechanisms within the vehicle. I don't know if they'll have any effect. The electric, again, same thing. It would just, where you would cut some jobs because of the combustible engines, you have electric engines. So, they still have to be installed. They still have to be fine-tuned. So I don't think the electric would adversely affect our workers. The autonomous, I can't really speak on that.
Well, I think our CEO, Mary Barra, has hit this pretty well on the head with our philosophy of zero crashes, zero emissions, and zero congestion. I think when a person considers buying a car, one of the things they're looking at is this car safe? That would align with our whole zero crashes philosophy. And then another thing that they'll consider is, how much am I going to be paying for gas? This, both directly and indirectly, can line up with our zero emissions strategy. So I think those are things that customers are looking for. They pretty much align with our objectives of 000 at GM.
You're seeing cars becoming, or vehicles becoming, safer and more automated in some ways. So that is happening. You're seeing vehicles becoming connected, which will provide the ability to deliver software over the air to make cars again safer, more secure, provide more features and services to the consumer. So that's starting to occur as well. I mean, GM OnStar is a classic example. It's been around since the 90s, and you're seeing more and more cars becoming connected. The move to electric vehicles, you're seeing that occur as well. There's still very much the minority of vehicles on the roads today, but you're seeing that trend as well, and you're seeing more and more adoption by consumers, and you're seeing more charging stations, so the infrastructure has to get built out. So essentially what you're seeing is connectivity, some automation, you're seeing electrification of vehicles, and you're also seeing a movement to shared transportation, or what's called shared mobility.